Returning home after an injury or illness can be made easier with icare's help. There are options if your current home can't be reasonably modified to meet your needs. You may decide to either relocate or to build a new home. iCare will be there to help you make decisions and support you through the process. If you decide to relocate, iCare will engage an occupational therapist who can assist with considerations on suitable properties for your needs and make suggestions for any home modifications needed.
When we realised that the rental property wasn't going to be an option, we came up with this place luckily. iCare were straight on board with what we needed to do there and then to get me into the house.
There's a lot for you to take on board and consider, but our highly experienced home modifications occupational therapists will help you to achieve the best possible outcomes.
If you plan to relocate to another home, there are a few important things you need to know. If relocating, the amount of funding for home modifications is limited, as there is an expectation that you'll buy a home that does not require extensive modifications. To find out more, please talk with your home modifications officer. An occupational therapist must look at the home prior to purchase to make sure it can be modified to meet your injury-related needs. And the build must match the modification designs recommended by the occupational therapist and endorsed by iCare. If you choose to build a new home instead, iCare will still put you in touch with an occupational therapist to support you with the design development. Whether self-managing the build of a new home with an architect or an off-the-plan design, iCare will need to review the plans to ensure the occupational therapist's home modification recommendations have been adopted. Building work can only commence after iCare has evaluated the plans. This is a requirement for funding. The iCare Home Modifications team can support you through this process. Builds can take anywhere from a month to a year, depending on the scope of works. Whatever the situation, your iCare Home Modifications officer will be available to support you.
Once the build is complete, an occupational therapist will come out and review the works. They do this to ensure that the works meet your injury-related needs. If they don't, we'll bring the occupational therapist and a builder out to fix them, to make sure that they do meet your needs.
The next phase of the home modification once I moved in was home automation. This was the exciting part, the part where I now have control over the independence of my life.
If you plan to build a new home, some of the same conditions will apply. Funding for home modifications in a newly built home is also limited. It's best to find out more by talking with your home modifications officer. Our occupational therapist will review the designs to ensure they meet your injury-related needs. Any recommendations by the occupational therapist must be included in the designs and endorsed by the occupational therapist and iCare. And the build must match the agreed design.
Once your build is complete, that is not the end of the story. iCare will be there for you. If your needs change, we will come back in and make any changes that are required. We want to make sure your home is still accessible and working for you.
Design of Caleb's place has changed from the original plan. So the original plan had him in a wheelchair with a carer doing everything. Now Caleb is doing more and more, and that may change down the track as well. But this is very close to independence already.
To find out how iCare continues to support you when you return to your modified home, keep watching.